Hi everyone, it's Jackie Simmons here from Mindset Solutions. Welcome. So I thought I'd discuss a little bit about exercise, one of my favourite things to do. Not everyone's. I appreciate that it can be a bit of a dirty word to some people, but I love exercise and I grew up exercising. I've exercised throughout my adult life and I hope to continue way into my late life. So today I had a study day and I booked into my normal Zumba class in between that was my designated my breaks. And I turned up and the lady that normally takes it was away. So we ended up having this other young guy, and instead of Zumba it was something like kickboxing or boxing, keep fit. Anyway, it was very, very out of my league and out of my comfort zone. And so I did as much as I felt comfortable to do, and still enjoyed it. But I must admit, I do prefer the Zumba. I always end up laughing and feeling quite good. So I'm aware that a lot of people have households where they've got young people taking GCSEs at the moment, so there's lots of studying going on, or you might yourself be taking extra study on top of your work, as I am. And so for next week, for example, in our house, I've got one of my end of term exams, and my daughter starts her GCSEs. So lots going on. Now, for some people, they may think, well, I'd rather do more study than exercise, but I'd love to share with you how important that actually the exercise will help with your study and ultimately with the results that you get. There's lots of research these days, and particularly in children who take up a form of exercise, it's now very much correlated that the young ones that are actually doing some form of exercise on a regular basis tend to get the higher grades. And so for myself, this is a no-brainer. I have to exercise. I'm quite a high energy person. I appreciate not everybody is, but there's always an exercise for everyone. You don't have to do. I like to mix mine up. I think it's really good for your mental agility and so forth. So I tend to do a mixture of things. Now, one of the things that we talk about a lot when it comes to exercise is the physical aspect. So it's good for your heart, it keeps you mobile, and as we know, if we don't use it, we lose it. So one of the good things is to keep your mobility going, particularly as you are increasing in age. It really is important to keep moving and keep your exercise going, whether this is a walk on a regular basis or you might want to do a little bit more stretching and so forth. Stretching is incredibly good. Any exercise that increases your core strength, because our posture is so important. We tend to a lot of people who are working on computers, and I have days where I have to do a lot more computer work than I like, and I tend to get a lot of stress in my shoulders, and I know a lot of people have those similar problems. So exercise and stretching and making sure our posture means that we're breathing better, all these things that are great for physiological aspect. But I want to just draw your attention back to the mindset benefits of it, and those are that we know now that with because we have scans that can actually map the brain out and show the differences of people when they're exercising and the effects it has on our neurology. So, for example, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend a book by John Ratey, Dr. John Ratey, who wrote a book called Spark, and it's just amazing. And for myself, I've always exercised, so I just loved it anyway. But if you need any proof, then please get yourself a copy. I recommend it. Loads of research in there that will really have you thinking very differently about the importance and why it's so important to keep exercise in your weekly planner. Get yourself one of these. Actually, this is what I use. Just cheap as chips. You can pick one up. And then if you do it weekly, as well as all the other chores that you've got, you can have your actual exercise put in there so that you know when your designated exercise times are. Because if you're waiting to feel like exercise, I'm really sorry to have to say that you're probably never going to feel like exercising. So you're better off just not thinking about it and not waiting to give yourself permission. Oh, I don't actually feel like it tonight. I don't feel like actually getting out of bed most mornings, like I'm sure most people don't, but I don't, I still get out of bed. And I don't listen to the part of my internal workings that tells me, oh, I don't feel like it. So another good thing actually from the Book of the Spark, and which especially for those getting back to the exams at the moment. So a lot of people spend hours and hours focusing on concentrating, trying to get as much crammed in. But if you actually did that in blocks and gave yourself 20 minutes, even if it's every two, I'd need it every 2 hours myself because that's how I work. But some people, if you can get your 4 hours and in 20 minutes, if you did some cardiovascular, what happens is that the exercise, you've got this BDNF, which is brain derived neurotrophic factor. And in his book Spark, Rati actually refers to it as the miracle grow of your brain. And that's because when we exercise, all the different chemicals and the different changes that occur actually make us able to concentrate better, focus better. So I've heard a lot of people saying that they've not had the results they've wanted, say for their mocks. Two things: perhaps reassess how you're actually studying, because even if you're studying for hours on end, if you're not getting the results that you want, then you're not studying effectively for you. I'm not saying you're not putting any hours in or the work, but it's, we all actually retain things differently, so you need to work out how you best learn and apply that to you. But I can definitely guarantee that if you put your exercise in, that's going to really help with your focus and your concentration and memory. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share today, and hopefully that's been helpful to some of you. So if any of you would like to speak to me or arrange for a one-to-one, no obligation, free assessment, free, then please do message me. It's free, get half an hour, and we can talk about where you're presently at and how you would like to be in the future, and we can talk about solutions. Okay, have a fabulous weekend, everyone, and speak soon. Bye.